Hi, everybody, and good afternoon. We are having a chat with Ayush today. And Ayush is a part of the very first batch of our AI product leadership program with Talvinder at Pragmatic Leaders. And it has been, I think, exciting. The couple of people we've spoken to already would love to hear Ayush's view because he is in an interesting space himself today, not working for somebody, but for himself. So building something himself applies to this scenario as well. Hi, Ayush. Welcome.
Hey, hi, Amar. Thanks for having me.
Okay, so Ayush, little basic. Could you tell us where you are today, what you're up to?
Sure, gladly. So I am by my last profession, I was a product manager. I have roughly 6 years of experience, and for the last 1.5 years, I've been running my own cafe here in Raipur, Chhattisgarh, and been building system processes using my corporate knowledge in a F&B business. So that's who I am. That's what I do.
Fantastic, fantastic. I think exciting to do that, and you would have applied a lot of your learning from your product days into this problem solving.
Surely.
Okay, so cool. So you, while you are doing this whole F&B business, you decided to join the first batch. So what was the reasoning for that? Share a little bit about what motivated you to enroll in the course.
So it wasn't the first time that I worked or I took a course with Pragmatic. I took a course with Pragmatic 2.5 years back, and that did change my career trajectory as well. And I've known Talvinder again for 3 years and love what he brings to the table. I wanted to learn Gen AI because that's where the world is going. I took up a course on Coursera, Udemy, etc. It was too bookish, so I
Hmm.
wanted something more hands-on. How do you say? वो touch and feel नहीं थी बाकी courses में. So that's the reason Talvinder mentioned that, hey, we'll break things, and there'll be a cohort. And the best things about a cohort is you get to learn from other people as well. They come up with their own expertise. Not a better way to learn an upcoming technology.
Fantastic. No, that makes total sense. Yeah. It's very clear what you will gain from the program versus the other places that you said you did your courses from.
Yeah.
So your point about the fact that Gen AI is the next thing which everybody is talking about, and you need to be a part of it in some form. So, in your experience, how do you perceive this impact that AI or Gen AI is bringing into the job market? Let's talk about the last year and what do you see for the foreseeable future?
Two aspects to it in the job market. One, how do I see Gen AI being used by a PM or other people in their own job role to get their job done? Second, how does a PM or a tech company uses Gen AI to build products to solve better problems, to have more viable and feasible products out there? I'm going to the first one. And this is what I learned with Talvinder. If today I have to solve a problem, I
Hmm.
don't really need to. Obviously, you need good amount of market research, but then you have so many LLMs out there. If you're decent at your prompt engineering, you can literally you have a buddy who will help you create a product from start to the end, as simple as be it your PRDs, go to market documents, and everybody knows that that's no rocket science. That's completely
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
low hanging fruits. When it comes to the job markets, look at any big company. WhatsApp introduced an AI. I'm not sure if you noticed, but they have
Yeah,
integrated
yeah,
with Gen AI.
yeah.
A week back, I'm not sure when this will be launched, but Google had its own AI event where they relaunched Vertex, etc. Everybody wants to do something. Everybody wants a piece of this cake because the computational, the intelligence aspect of a Gen AI is something which wasn't there before. It makes
Exactly. Yeah.
life so much easier. Today, let's say if I go on a Mintra, I want to buy something for a reception, a wedding reception, it's still tedious.
Hmm.
But maybe using Gen AI, I can be like, hey, I already own a white shirt and a black trouser, and
Right.
this complexion. I need something that comes here in 2 days. Help me out. The assistance will, the whole user experience using a Gen AI this is an orbital shift.
Hmm.
The
Hmm.
company which uh, writes on this will be way. I
Hmm.
think the customers will be happier for sure.
I mean, this is an interesting topic, and we can have a separate chat on that. But yes, so when you're talking about these 2 points, and I connected with the course. So, what are the most valuable insights or skills you've acquired from the AI product leadership course? And how do you think applying these, of course, you're launching a product, but applying these for product managers out there, how would you kind of connect these two pieces?
When I joined the course, all I understood was that, hey, this some chat GPT, you can do some things with it. I had no idea about how to use it, its limitations, or basic, not limitations, its capabilities. As a product manager, how you need to look at AI through a responsible lens, through a very inclusive lens. And also, what are the use cases that can even be solved with it? And let's say at times we see everybody saying, hey, yeah, we'll solve this using AI. But then there's a financial aspect to it as well. How much will an AI solution cost you? So the end-to-end problem solving through an AI lens, when AI is at the heart of the problem solving, it's scope, feasibility, viability. That's something I understood from the course. And when you do a project yourself, you learn things, and that just helps you.
Very, very valid 2 points that you made over there. So let's double click a little bit on the curriculum. What are the aspects of the curriculum for you? And let's break it up into two parts. A, the theoretical,
Yeah.
and B, right now, the practical. What are the key aspects or key pieces of each side that for you really stood out and worked? And what are one piece each which you feel could be improved?
Okay. So how the when we talk about a theoretical and a practical aspect, it's very in this course it's very difficult to keep these two things separately. So let's say we are on a given weekend, we are talking about inclusivity, how you need to build products which are more inclusive to everybody, how a lot of LLMs out there have screwed up in multiple ways. We know the examples out there. And the same week, when you are making a product, you will have that insight in your head that if I'm building something, I need to be inclusive. I'm just using that as an example right now.
Yeah.
So you mentioned here, let's take it two separately. I'm saying it's very difficult to take these two things separately.
Okay.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah, go on. And the see, when it comes down to the theoretical part, the industry is changing rapidly. I mean, 2 weeks back, I knew Claude was the best LLM out there. Yesterday, Llama 3. Tomorrow, I mean, Microsoft is coming something which you can run on your phones. In a pre-recorded session, howsoever great that is, the curriculum is going to change every week. You need to be on top of it, even if it's still overwhelming. So somebody who's building his own AI products, Talvinder here, he knows what's happening and he knows the updates. So it has a curriculum, but then it has a added advantage of, hey, what's happening right now? So which is great, which I couldn't find somewhere out there. Else you need to be part of those subreddits, or you need to follow some Twitter threads to understand what's happening in the space. But here it gets delivered to you. So the tech that you're learning or the information that you have is not ancient. And in AI world, 2-3 months becomes ancient too
yeah.
soon.
Yeah. So, A, to summarize, you're saying the big difference here is there is no real differentiation between theoretical and practical. Everything's very interlinked.
Yeah.
And B, because of the speed or advent of change that we are seeing in the AI world, pre-recorded courses are not going to really work because everything is so new, it needs to come together.
Yeah.
Yep, absolutely. Fantastic. So, is that the only thing which sets the course apart from its competitors?
Let's come to the product building aspect. We were a batch of, I guess, 10-12 people, in which 7-8 people were active. That's how it works anywhere.
Absolutely.
Yeah. There's some people who had a very nice tech background. Some people were just product managers from different spaces. And how the product building phase works is they ask you that, hey, choose the topic that you want to solve for. Choose a personal problem. Just do it. It does not need to make millions. It's a project. As simple as that. And then some people come together. Every Saturday, we used to look at somebody else's product, take inspiration that, hey, that person has done so much work. I'm lacking behind. I need to buck up. I need to buckle up. Or you get inspiration that, hey, I can also use, let's say, a new image to text in my product. Or let's say if I'm stuck on Glide, I know somebody else who's using Glide. I can, hey, help me out with it, please. So that's the beauty. you have a lot of people trying to solve different problems, but in roughly the same framework. They're using similar tools, similar tech. So you get help, you get motivation, and then it's exciting because that's your personal problem. The I started with the problem that hey, there are a lot of D2C businesses out there, and the biggest a lot of fashion D2C businesses out there, and the biggest problem is procurement. So I want to build a marketplace where they can take stuff from manufacturer, etc. Blah blah blah. Made a very good-looking 2-3 pages PRD, and Talvinder like, hey, this is great, but don't start a business. Work on something. And in the group, Talvinder mentioned work on a project that helps you get matches on Bumble. So I replied, what if we make a Bumble bio generator? And he said, that's a great idea. I said, but hey, that will that really look good on a resume? I said, why not? And I started working on a Bumble bio generator, and I have the product almost 90% ready. It works, doesn't look good, but I'll make it look good. So that's the fun aspect of it.
I get what you're saying. The practicality of the live sessions and the interactions allows for real life problem statements, not some very far away 5 year down the line kind of timeline kind of problem statements.
And now that you're solving a problem, trying to solve a problem through a product lens, you get feedback every week. Your problem statement is not well defined. Maybe you can solve it easily. This is not an MVP. Or your think about your GTM once you're close to releasing the product, or the design. So you go through all the product management aspects while building that problem. Sorry, while trying to solve that problem.
Yeah.
So it's not just building a product, it's building a product plus product management, and you get feedback on it all the time.
So as you're going through this cycle and the points that you're making, one of the questions that comes to mind for me is not just you, but everybody in the batch have a job, correct? Yeah. Whether they have their own company, whether they're working for somebody, secondary. But there's a lot of work that you guys have to put in if you are understanding product management in the new era, the third wave, whether it is building the product, whether it is taking the feedbacks whilst running your full-time life. So how did you, for example, manage to balance all of this out?
It is tedious. Plus, if somebody is not a developer, making a product is itself a daunting task.
Yeah.
You do it. We divided it in weeks. That hey, take 1 week to just scope out the problem. Take another week to understand the tools available. So in the end, okay, let's say I know, okay, some that I need maybe 40, 50 hours to solve a problem. But if you have 5 to 10 weeks for it, you just have to maybe give and trust me, that is how much I've put in, not more than that. And not all weeks, because life comes in. And another thing, because uh, all of us, we are working, we do miss Saturday, Sundays because of something going on in our life. You can go back, look at the Zoom recordings. You can ask your peers. Talvinder is available on messages that hey, I'm stuck here, help me out. And because you're trying to solve something, you're excited and you give in the energy, the effort yourself.
Yeah. Yeah.
Because you're not solving somebody else's problem.
Yeah.
And people who come with everybody does a job, and they know when they propose a solution to a certain problem, they're way more excited about it.
This is bang on.
Yeah.
It's bang on.
And the curriculum is well spread. So it's not that, hey, you need to make an app in 1 week. People feel they falter, but you have a good enough 10 to 12 weeks of time where you're mentored. So and the tools available out there, be it an Adal or a Glide, they are not extremely difficult. 2 to 3 hours of learning, and you're good to go and make a simple app.
So what I want to kind of, go back to is in the beginning, first question, you were talking a lot about how you had done a course 2.5, 3 years ago, and it helped you with your job jump at that time. And now you are doing this. So talk me through these two transitions, which you chose Pragmatic Leaders as the platform to help you through, and why.
Again, maybe I'll repeat my words, but I believe education needs to be more hands-on. You can take a lot of courses out there. You learn how to write a user story, a PRD, different prioritization frameworks. But till the time you don't take those prioritization frameworks and apply it, it's as good as it being on a document. And the promise of multiple case studies, that's the reason why I joined Pragmatic the first time, that, hey, you'll have 2 case studies every week. I'm like, that is great. It's hands-on education. I'm learning by doing. And the second time, it was even better. I'm actually building something and not just presentations or case study. And the 2 reasons why I went for it.
So totally fair. And sort of my last question to wrap up
Yeah.
this whole point is,
So I'm sorry, and I'm interjecting. It's coming from somebody who's been in the industry, and then you have great mentors who are, you have a lot of experience. When I did my course for the first time, Pragmatic got somebody from the Silicon Valley, and the next person they got was somebody who was a VP of product management in a Tesco. So that's the amount of information you're getting, and you can talk to those people. Not one-way street. Saying this, but I've seen this. Give me
right,
your point of view. So it's more of a dialogue and not a monologue in those sessions.
right.
And you have your time where you can understand a given concept and get back and ask questions. In a recorded course, you don't get that. So that's the, I think, beauty of Pragmatic, that the courses are live and then there are case studies and you're building something. So all of that really comes together.
Hey, I appreciate that thought. It resonates very, very deeply with me. And in whatever sessions, whatever that I take with students mostly nowadays, that's something that I try to bring out. Don't just sit there. It's a live class. If you want to just view a deck, you can, I'll record it, I'll give it to you. A live class is for engagement. A live class is for asking questions. It's for getting the thinking juices, going. So yes, absolutely resonates very closely with me. Last question. So would you recommend the AI product leadership course to others, and why?
I would recommend the course only if the person is ready to put an effort, because you learn by doing. If you're in here for the certificate, we all know how it works. If somebody's serious about building AI products, getting to that domain, for sure, you learn by doing. But then make sure you're able to put at least 3 to 5 hours a week. Because it's a very hands-on course, as it's not possible. I hope I answered the first part of your question. The second part was why. How else are you planning to learn about AI without doing it? And even if you plan to do it, you're going to get stuck somewhere.
Yeah.
Where you get a cohort of other people who are building things with you. So even if you're lacking a certain week, maybe your partner or your group members will pick up the slack for you and move forward. So that's the beauty. Why not?
Super. Thank you. Thank you so much, Ayush, for giving your time. And it kind of wraps up very, very pertinent, a very honest statement you made. Give your time there to learn. Thank you. Thanks, Ayush. Thanks for your time.
Thank you.